Healing is a long journey for me. It doesn't happen overnight. And childhood trauma usually left a deep mark in the subconsciousness of most people, myself included. So let's sit down, grab your favorite beverage. I got a kombucha here, and it gets personal. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I heal my childhood trauma. I was born into a very normal family. I am the only daughter of my parents. I think as a kid, I received the care and love that I needed from both of them. Just the ways they cared for me were different. My mom focused more on my physical needs, like cooking good foods or helping me out in my daily routines. My dad focused more on my emotional needs. He spent time listening to me and talking to me like we are friends. So I think the way they care for me just come from their different characteristics and perspective in life. But I also witnessed a lot of conflict between my parents when I was a kid. I don't remember clearly the detail of what they said, but my 7-year-old self may feel the tension in their relationship. And then they were separated. I think that left a deep wound in my subconsciousness. However, I still connect with both of them just like before their separation. Then my father passed away when I was 12 years old. That struck me in another way. I became quieter and didn't want to talk about my family with my friends or any adult. Then time goes by. I somehow forgot the past, but the child within me still remember the childhood trauma and asked me to listen to her, to take care of her, to help transform her wounds. But I didn't listen carefully to her until some incidents happened later in my 20s. Actually, I don't need to complain about my life. I had a wonderful life in my 20s. I met my boyfriend, who is my husband now, when I was in my first year of university. Then I graduated from the university and then got a job. So I could be financially independent right after graduation. But I still had lots of confusion and anxiety. I work in a very big and well-known company in the industry, and for many people, that's a good job. But the reality is that I had a huge workload, deadlines, and pressure. So I was doubtful about myself many times. Sometimes I felt okay, then sometimes I felt miserable. Sometimes I felt that I am capable of doing my job. Sometimes I felt worthless. That emotional roller coaster also affected the people around me for a long time, especially my boyfriend back then. And I didn't know the exact reasons. I was not even aware of how I was feeling at a certain time. I just realized something really heavy that was pushing me down, but I couldn't call it by its true name. Then I joined some self-development courses, hoping to understand more about my 20 crisis. I tried several courses, then I was lucky to find one that really helped me on my transformation journey. The course is called The Journey of Our 20s by Life Coaching Vietnam. From that course, I learned a lot about emotional intelligence, EQ. The special thing about the course is that they desire to accompany the participant on their healing journey. They don't just talk about the theory because the theory is ambiguous, while the practice is a big part of the healing process, and you can only understand the theory by putting it into practice. So I felt like during that time, I had sincere friends who were willing to listen to me, and I also had like-minded friends who are going with me on our healing journey. So it's so beneficial to me. For about 6 months after joining the course, I was able to identify my emotion when they arise. I knew how to understand the thinking patterns that come with my emotions, and I was able to transform many unhealthy thinking patterns that pushed me down. One thing I can take away from that course is to journal. By journaling, I can slow down the continuous thinking process in my head. I can see my thoughts more clearly, and I was able to untangle the mess in my mind. So I've left the link of this company, Life Coaching Vietnam, in the description below if you are interested. Then I was able to remove lots of burdens, but I was not completely healed yet. There were still some blockages in me that prevented me from being at ease with anything happening to me. Then some friends in that course introduced me to meditation and mindfulness. From that, I knew about Plum Village, about Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, about all the beautiful original teachings of the Buddha. And I should say that mindfulness plays a significant part in transforming my life. Mindfulness to me means the awareness of our body, our feelings, our thoughts, and the environment at a certain time, at a certain place. Most of the time we think, speak, and act out of our habit energy rather than our awareness of them. Those habits were programmed in our subconsciousness that sometimes we don't even notice them, but they still silently control the ways we think, speak, and act. Some habits are good and some are very destructive. The practice for me is to slow down first. As a beginner, we practice being aware of our breath. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. I am happy that I can still inhale. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. I am grateful that I am alive. This fundamental practice helped me a lot to calm down and to be clearer in challenging times. Mindfulness can be practiced in many ways: sitting meditation, walking meditation, or even working meditation. No matter what you do, as long as you are aware of the 4 elements, bodies, feelings, minds, and the environment, in the here and the now, then you are mindful. You have a spiritual dimension. By practicing mindfulness, I realized I was raised with lots of social and family pressure, such as I need to be a good student, then I need to find a good job to be an ideal, independent girl, and that. But those standards are only foods for the ego. They don't define who I am at the deepest level. Now I see life is like a journey, and the journeys look different for different people. Yes, even though we are interconnected, and perhaps we have the same nature, we also have different expressions in the form, and we also have different lessons to learn on our own journeys. So I don't need to live up to societal standards or anyone else's standards, but I need to figure out my own aspiration, my own purpose on this journey. So living mindfully has helped me in understanding more about myself, transforming my suffering, removing my wrong views, transcending my ego, and so on. One of the biggest benefits of the practice is that I am able to identify the ego more quickly when it comes and know how to deal with it peacefully. The ego is just an illusion that is ingrained in our subconsciousness for so long. I realized that everything happens for a reason. Everything needs sufficient condition to manifest, and there is no such thing as a separate self. The things we call I is not a fixed separate self. My existence now is a result of many non-me elements, including the sunshine, the air, the water, my family, my friends, my community, and many conditions around. So by transcending the notion of I, me, my, I was able to heal my childhood wounds. I don't think I was punished by my childhood trauma anymore. I think the biggest cause of my childhood wounds came from the thought that I was different. I was weak. I was less than other kids. So in other words, I was constantly comparing myself to other kids. But the realization of no self liberates me. Now I think my childhood trauma is a blessing in disguise. By going through that specific experience, I am more sensitive to suffering. I understand more about psychology and mental health, and I am able to help myself. And also, the journey of working with my mental health led me to Buddhism. For me, I can see that Buddhism provides me a very scientific way to look at psychology. It's much deeper than modern psychology, so to speak. And by practicing the Buddha teachings in the right way, one can surely transform their suffering and see many profound insights about life and the world. So, finding spiritual practice in Buddhism is a very wonderful thing that happened in my life. Moreover, nowadays, in the context of massive information on the news, on social media, we see more misunderstanding, conflicts, divisions, and hatred. So the needs for healing become crucial. Because I need to heal my wound first so that I can hear what is being said without the filtering of my wounds, which leads to misunderstanding and conflict. But I'm gonna delve deeper into this point in another video, so please subscribe to our channel if you have not yet, and hit the bell button so you won't miss the next topic. Your subscription is also a big support to our channel. So that's my little brief story about how I heal my childhood trauma. I'm also curious about your story, so please share yours in the comment down below if you feel comfortable. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you a wonderful journey in this life.